Hello everyone, I am Praneeth and welcome back to the channel. Today, let's delve into the process of automatically pulling your code base from source control to an EC2 instance. So here our source control, we are using the GitHub. So have already started an instance and have connected it to its console, and I have installed the Git as well for cloning purpose. So now let's clone our repository, typing the command git clone and copy the HTTPS URL and paste in the EC2 instance. It will start cloning it. It's done. Okay, I'm navigating to the folder and we can see it's installed and we have a requirements file. So before installing requirements file, it's a best practice to create a virtual environment while working with Python projects. So I'll do that. Python 3 hyphen m vnv. So why we need to create virtual environment is initially this Linux system might have some Python dependencies to run the things in the background. So when we try to install the dependencies, sometimes it may upgrade the dependencies. So during that time, the OS might depend upon some specific version of the dependencies. It might collide with the system and some might not be installed as well. So to overcome these dependency issues, so we'll create a virtual environment. So these virtual environment dependencies won't talk with the system ones, and system ones will not talk with virtual ones. So it is restricted to the current project. So the virtual environment is created. So we'll activate our virtual environment. So the command is source vnv bin activate. So it will activate our virtual environment. When the virtual environment is activated, we can see this vnv populating to the left of our terminal. So now let's install our requirements. The command is pip install hyphen of requirements.txt. So it's installing our requirements. It takes a couple of minutes. And for this purpose, we are using Django framework to show the demo. So let's start out by our application. Python manage.py. One second. So let's see, our manage.py is available in AWS Autopull demo. So we have navigated to it and we have manage.py here. So now we'll execute the command python manage.py run server mentioning an IP along with the port. So the server is started. So now we can access the website using our public IP address. So this is a public IP address. I'm copying it and let's check http it should be http because we did not enable any certificates or installed any one of them. So let's just go with http followed by its public IP along with the port number. Now we should see the web page. So we could see here, right? So the application is serving a web page. We can see the logs here as well. So now our goal here is we need to, whenever we make the changes in the GitHub, when the changes are merged to the main branch, then it should activately trigger GitHub Actions and it should pull the code to the EC2 instance. It should perform pull action whenever the latest code is merged to the main branch. So now let's see that process. So before moving to that process, we need to ensure few things. We can call it prerequisites. So one thing is we need to install a Git. So we have already done that, and we have cloned the repository. So that is done. And we need to create a personal access token to it. So the creation of personal access token is easy. So click on I will go from first start. So click on our profile and find settings here. So if we go to the last, we have the developer settings. Here we could see the personal access tokens classic. I have already created a token. So you can create a new token if you do not have any before this demo. So again, we need to have a AWS keeper because in this demo we'll achieve our target by doing the SSH from GitHub Action to the EC2 instance. So for that we need a AWS key pair, and we need to encode the key pair. Um, we'll tell you the reason while we'll encode while discussing the GitHub Actions. So we have a command to encode the key pair. I'll show you that command. I'm stopping the server. So I'll provide that command in the description as well. So for this demonstration purpose, I'm just stepping out here. So the command is base 64 -w 0. So name of the key pair usually we'll download in .pem. So .pem, and the output should be in the form of text. So I'll name as key pair dot text. So we need to execute this command in our local system, since one post creating a key pair, it will download the PEM file to our local system. So we need to provide the location, and we need to execute this key base 64 command. So this will help us to encode the contents of the .pem file, and will save the output in a keypair.txt file. So that is done. So we have seen our application is running. Or we'll start our application. We'll start with server. Now let's see about the workflow. So I'm navigating to the repositories. So I came to my repository, and let's create an action. So from our repository, we can see the actions over here. So click on the actions. Since it's a fresh repository, we don't have any predefined actions. Let's create a fresh one. On setup for yourself, and we'll get a new file. So I'll rename it to AWS auto pull. Again, so this workflow will save under .github folder, and in workflow section. So it is nested. It should be in such a way that only the workflows will trigger for the defined conditions, so which we have drafted in this file. So this directory should be as GitHub suggested in this nested fashion itself. So already I have the GitHub action file. So I'll paste it over here, and let's go through it. So I have pasted it. So now let's see what it is saying. So we are providing the name of it, and we are mentioning the trigger point, like when we see a push to the main branch. So we can mention any of the branches and what it should do. So we have defining a job, like it should the action which we are performing, so it will run on the Ubuntu latest version, and it will follow the steps. So if we see the steps for most of the GitHub actions, so we need to check out our code. So the first action is checking out the code. it will take the code, and since it is everything, the actions here, the steps, it will be performed in the GitHub's systems. So we are creating from the home directory, we are creating a .ssh folder, and the secrets part I'll explain a little bit uh, now itself. So now let's go through the code. I'll come to the secrets part sometime later. So what we are doing here is we are leveraging GitHub secrets. I'll let you know how to set up them. So I'm accessing my private key of my EC2 instance, which is already encoded. So I'm storing them in secrets. So now what I'm doing is I'm decoding the same, and I'm saving in this directory, which earlier I have created .ssh directory. In that in this file, I'm saving the output of the decode, and I'm changing its permissions, like only the root should have the access. 6000. Root user will have the access uh, for uh, for read and write. For read and write, the root have the access, and I'm pasting it here. So yeah, now what we are doing is we are adding our instance IP as a known host. So we are doing a key scan. This is a key scan. What it does it will add our SSH key as a known host. So now what we are doing is so the final step is we are deploying the code to the EC2 instance. So we are doing SSH over here. That's why we need the private key file. So what we are doing is first using the GitHub secrets, we are storing our private key, the encoded version of it, and we are decoding, and we are saving it in the repository, and we'll adding to the known host. And final step is we are deploying it. So here we are doing SSH hyphen host strict host check key checking equal to null. What it does is, so if we take a fresh system, we are doing SSH, it will ask for a prompt. Are you sure you want to continue? We'll type yes, then only it will add to the known host, and it will allow us to interact with that system through command line interface. So what it does is it does not check the host key, and it will directly allow us to execute the commands. Since we are going through programmatically, automating the task, so we need to ensure that host checking is turned off. And since we are it is from infrastructure, so we can turn it off. And again, so we are going to this, and we are performing. So for doing the SSH thing, we need to give is we need to give the username and the instance public IP. So then only we can achieve this. We can the SSH works we need to provide the username and the instance IP. So from there, what I am doing is since we have this folder, so I have this EC2, so I'm navigating to that folder, and I'm performing git pull command with the path. So why we are using the path itself? So since it's our repo is public, it's working as expected, like git clone or git pull works fine. So if our repository is a private repository, then what we need to do is, so git clone will not work as expected because git can't find it because it's private. Only the requested audience who has access, or the owner, will able to perform the actions on that repository. It may be clone. So that's why pat helps in every area. So if it's a private repository, even though it helps us to pull the latest changes and update our code base in the EC2 instance. That's why we are using the pat. That's why we have created the pat in the initial. So let's see how we can set up the secrets in the GitHub repository. So the syntax, this is the syntax of it for accessing our GitHub secrets. It starts with the dollar, two flavor brackets, secrets dot name of our secret, and ending with two flavor brackets. This is the syntax for accessing our GitHub secrets. Now, so I'm opening the GitHub secrets will be available in the repository settings. So I'm opening the settings in the new tab, and if we scroll a little down, so we could see here the secrets and variables. I'm clicking on actions. If we scroll a little down, we have a couple of secrets like EC2 private key, the private keys which we discussed in the earlier lecture. Initially, we would have an encoded a private key that we'll paste that private key here, and the instance IP. Now I need to change my instance IP because it might have an older value. So now I use this latest IP address and I'll update here. I'm pasting copied from the URL. Okay, I'm just pasting my IP and updating the secret. So if you notice one thing, so I have clicked on the edit. So the beauty of the GitHub secrets is it's not revealing the older value. So if someone has any accidental access to the repo, so they might not see your existing secret. If they need to update it, so they need to entirely paste a new value. So yeah, secret in this way the secrets are safe in the GitHub. Click on update secret. So it's done. Now let's save this file. Clicking on commit changes. I'm directly committing it to the main branch. So the one thing is, so to test this out, we need to make some changes. So what I'll do is, I'll go to the HTML file. So if you see your HTML file, see, I'll remove this some text about who we are and what we do. So I'm going to the templates, index.html. I'm editing, yeah, I'm trying to remove this, commit changes. I'm directly committing it to the main branch. And let's go navigate to the actions tab. So see, oh, already when we post to the main branch, so it started the action, which is triggered. Now let's see our change is taking place. So we can see the logs as well here, what it is doing. So what are its actions? So deploy to EC2. So we can open this and we can check. So yeah, see the one file changed. Let's go to our EC2 instance. So since the contents are changed, so we don't have any other action scripts like if full action is performed. We didn't set up anything to automate the restart or starting and stopping or stopping the starting of our services like this here the Django. Maybe if we have Nginx, we need to set up those scripts. So since it's an for demo purpose, I'm just running with the base, I mean, the server which is Django is providing. I'm not using any unicorn for this. So I'll stop this server and I'll start run the server again. So I'll get the latest code. So now when I try to refresh it, so we need to see the text got disappeared. So earlier we could see the paragraph, something about it. So now it is disappeared. So we have just updated the code in the GitHub. The actions using the leveraging GitHub Actions, it automatically pull the latest code to our EC2 instance, and we have just shut down and started the server. It automatically grabbed the code, I mean latest code, and we had checked in the website. So here we can see, so the process is automated in a bit. So now let's discuss why we have done the encode and decode. So what happens is, so coming to the GitHub repository secrets, I mean it is designed to handle the text data, but the private key file contains some annotated syntax, which will cause or might cause the parsing issues. That's why we have converted our private key, I mean private key.pem file to the base64 encoding. So it will have some sort of a security. It also provides a layer of security. So though when we are decoding it, it will come to its original form. So then what it does is it will have that begin and end and the content will have that like a permission file setting, and when it decodes, it will come back to its original form, and it will do that SSH thing. So this is all about the demo, guys. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like to me cover in future videos, please let me know in the comments below. Thanks again for watching video, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you, everyone.